Hey, welcome back to the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. Now, today I'm going to talk to you about a little breaking news out of the Supreme Court. Supreme Court has decided to take up a case on a ban on gender-affirming care for minors coming out of the state of Tennessee. A lower court ruling had allowed it to take effect, and this case has been taken to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court did accept the case. Oral arguments will be somewhere in October of 2024. Ruling will come out probably in 2025 in June. Now, I don't have any hope that this case is held, in a way, or comes out in a way that's advantageous to trans youth. I don't trust our Supreme Court as far as I could throw. In the end, it'll probably end up being something like a 5-4 vote with Chief Justice Roberts voting with the minority, and the other 5 conservative justices destroying life for trans minors. Unfortunately, that's just clear to me how this Supreme Court works. But who knows? They did come up with that decent law the decent ruling last week about domestic abusers and people that are under, have protection orders against them. So maybe they'll surprise me. I doubt they do. But the fact is, the state of Tennessee wants to ban gender-affirming care for minors. They've already, they passed the law and it's already in effect. And I think it's absolutely heart-wrenching. These kids don't need people making like they're terrible mistakes. They need compassion and empathy. They need professional care. In this country, we use all sorts of different gender-affirming things for cisgender people. Puberty blockers are used on cisgender kids for different reasons. And we don't bat an eye at that. There are surgeries done on teenage kids that affirm their genders, like surgery for males with gynecomastia. That is no different than anything else, any other gender-affirming care that a minor trans person would get. There are cisgender people that have hormone replacements and things like that to help them be affirmed in who they are. And it shouldn't be any different for a trans minor, who in most states surgeries aren't going to be allowed until 18. The most could happen to be about 15, 16, 17 years old, maybe doing cross hormone therapy or HRT. And if it's what the kid needs, then it's what the kid needs. That's how I see it. If the psychological evaluation and other medical experts believe that this is the best thing for the child, and their parents agree and the kid agrees, then it shouldn't be a question. Kids need care. People know their gender by 2 to 3 years old in most cases. And you can see this. You don't have to just read the science. Very often you can see it in kids by 3 years old. I have friends of mine who have posted videos of their kids since they were infants on Facebook and other social media. And you can see when they realize that they are what they are, whatever gender they are. And you wouldn't tell a cisgender kid that they're not cisgender. You wouldn't tell a cisgender kid that they weren't a boy or a girl that they said they were. So why would you do it to a trans person? Trans people don't need that. They don't need to be hurt anymore. As I've said on this channel many times, by having to hide who you are, it does nothing but create heartache and pain, depression, anxiety, and in many cases an urge to unalive oneself. I was there multiple times as a kid, between 10 and 18 years old, where I didn't want to live anymore because I was having to hide who I was. Nothing in my world seemed right, felt right, as a kid. Nothing went right, nothing felt right, nothing looked right. And I hid that until I was 40 years old. And you know what? A lot of that depression and anxiety went away when I finally came out, especially after I finally told my mother. Do I still deal with those issues? Yes, because that stuff doesn't just go away. But I don't deal with it as much because I'm not having to live a lie. And we could save people all this trouble, all this pain, if we stop demonizing trans minors and quit demonizing their parents and acting as if they've done something wrong for supporting and loving their child. Anyways, this has been the Big Ranch Show. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you down the road. And to those of you that have watched my most recent video over last week's Supreme Court case, thank you. I can't believe I made it over 200 views on a video. I haven't done that in so long. Thank you to everybody that watched it. Thank you to those that commented, whether you agreed with it or not. Thank you. And I'll see you down the road.